this Super Thursday. Phillip Hagedorn, Chief Investment Officer of ATR Asset Management. Good morning, Phillip. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Mimi. Good morning, Kathy.
So, Phillip, where do you think the market is headed today with MSCI rebalancing data out, plus second quarter GDP numbers out in about 40 minutes and BSP policy meeting this afternoon?
Well, I don't expect too much change today. I think we've had a bit of a test of sort of support the last couple of days. So I'd expect a little bit more consolidation at the current levels. Based on how markets performed last night as well, I think they were opening quite weak, but ended up pretty strong at the end of the day. So I'd expect the same here, a little bit of volatility, but not much change at the end of the day.
Don't you think that the MSCI rebalancing will cause foreign fund flow exit to be accelerating today?
Well, it might, but it's a very small rebalance from what we're seeing, and we don't expect too much. I think it's been anticipated as well, so I'm not really expecting too much action on the back of that today.
Phil, is there a sliver of chance the central bank might hold fire because of the peso's weakening trend?
Sorry, Kathy, I missed that question. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Is there any chance that the central bank might hold fire because of the peso's weakening trend?
We don't think so. I think the central bank will cut 25 bips today. And the peso weakening is, I think, what was more than expected by the market this year. I think it was just the first half of the year went against many people's expectations as the dollar actually became quite strong. But I think things are moving in the way we expected them to move, and we do expect more weakness in the peso heading towards the 53 level second half of this year. No?
All right, so what's your preferred tactical and long-term strategy now, given the key drivers?
Well, we're still very positive and bullish on Philippine equities. At the end of the day, if you look at the earnings numbers that are coming through for the second quarter, they're actually superb. I mean, 14% so far, as much as the companies that have reported. But more important is that the guys that are leading these earnings growth numbers are the largest of the largest blue chips. And you're looking at the banks, you're looking at the property sectors and the holdcos that have subs in those sectors, and these are the companies that are delivering the stronger earnings. And because of that, we think the market will continue to. I mean, we did not expect to see the market at 7,800. I thought we were on our way, but obviously with external factors still a big issue to contend with, the markets tested that support once again in the last couple of trading days. But I do expect fundamentals to take over and investors to focus on that moving forward. And I would be maintaining our view that we're going to see 85 to 8,800 before the end of the year.
And I wanted to go back to the earnings, Phil. The earnings, they're saying, you call it superb, but there are also big losers in the earnings front. For example, Jollibee, even the banking sector earnings, while they were growing healthily, the loans growth are barely keeping up.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's going to be some guys that are not doing as good, but I think you have to look at the core earnings numbers, and when you go there, it's healthy in the end of the day. And we do expect these numbers to be maintained or sustained. Actually, a little bit ahead of our forecast so far this year. We only expected around 12% earnings growth, and so far it's looking like the first half is at around 14%. Of course, if you clean that up for core earnings, it's closer to the 10, 11% number. So, but these are numbers. In other words, I think earnings is where we expected them to be. The forward multiple of the market is at 15 times for 2020, which to me is the low end of our range nowadays. So we see value in Philippine equities. I think for Philippine fixed income, you're likely to see a cut today and rates, some action on the curve. The curve has been very flat. We're expecting a little bit of steepening, and mostly on the long end rather than on the short end. So, that's the opportunities that we're looking at for the second half of the year.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much, Phil. We'll talk to you again at the opening bell.
All right, thank you.
away from the opening bell. There you go. Just 30 minutes before the Q2 GDP data out, then hours before the Philippine Central Bank is out with its policy decision. The PSEI starts trading from above 79.17. Let's get the opening numbers at the Philippine Stock Exchange, where Michelle Long rejoins us for that. So how are the numbers looking, Mimi?
Hi, Kathy. Philippine shares opening higher by 15 points, or less than 0.1%. 79.31 is where we are at. Joining us still on the line, Mr. Phillip Hagedorn of ATRAM Asset Management. Hi, Philip.
Morning, Mimi, again.
Okay, so Philip, very quickly, we got GDP for second quarter in about 30 minutes. What are you expecting to get? And I guess when you look at the GDP data, is there anything in particular that we should be on the lookout for to know where we should put our money in?
Well, I think we're going to see we're going to see better numbers than we saw in the first quarter, but still a number below 6%. I think the market expectation is around 5.9%, and that's kind of what we're expecting. But I think the important thing to think about is what's going to happen in the second half of the year, now that the spending can continue. And we would expect that number to be north of 6%, and ending the average around 6.1% for the year. So we do expect a pickup in growth in the second half, but we still maintain that we will see a number in the fives for today. Probably still weak on consumer spending and the government spending, as the budget really wasn't passed till sort of halfway through the second quarter. No.
Mm-hmm. Okay, on that note, thank you very much, Philip, for joining us this morning.
All right, Mimi, thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Have a good day.
Thank
you
you.
too.